Hey folks, how's it going? Today I'm talking about Primal Season 3, all of it. I actually have another video about Primal on my channel here, and I decided to get into the recording booth, unscripted, ranting, possibly half drunk, to talk about the overall season for Primal, which, heads up, spoilers, you've been warned. And let's just say Gendy Tartakovsky, you did not disappoint, my man. I'm so relieved that the ending is what I hoped for. I kid you not. Again, underline the word spoilers. You've been warned, okay? Our boy Spear lives. Hell yes, he lives in you. It's the Lion King song. Lion King 2. No, I'm so glad that the ending of this season is giving Spear a win. That this guy who started this season in hell, a guy who died in season 2, we'll talk about season 2 in a bit, comes back from the grave, living in this state of being a zombie, having these shadows of his former life dancing in his head, dancing between life and death. It feels so cruel. And now at the end of season 3, it's like, what if we give this guy a win? What if we let Spear actually live the life that he deserves? A family man, a family guy even. Let's walk through the season, all right? So the season starts off with, I was kind of confused at the start of the season. I still kind of am. Me and my fiance went back to watch the first episode of the season because it has Spear, who is dead from the finale of season 2. And he's been put in some kind of catacomb in Mira's village. And just, again, some backstory. Spear fought some fire demon Viking and caught on fire himself, burnt to a crisp, almost died, was in the dying process. Mira thought, hey, let's have some sex. Knock me up, I have your daughter, I will carry on your legacy. Because at the end of season 2 of Primal, Spear was feeling so out of place, alone. Even though Fang had her 2 kids, even though Mira was there, Spear felt out of place in the village. And I guess the thing that he was missing was having a kid of his own, having more familial bonds. And instead of, I guess, hanging around to figure that out, he fought to the death to protect his family, kind of similar to his own father, who protected the tribe. So that's always been Spear, always the protector, always the provider, always the father, the husband, the dog owner, right? And I love Spear for that. He's a very, at his core, simple character. Not simple as in stupid, because he's quite sharp and resourceful. But for the emotions that he feels, it's simple. I love my mate. I love my dinosaur dog. I love my dinosaur dog's kids. I love my daughter. That's Spear. And at the end of the day, when it comes to something as ancient as survival and self-preservation, yeah, Spear kicks ass at it. So he dies. Mira goes on to become pregnant with Spear's child, as we know because of the epilogue at the end of season 2 with that closing shot of Spear and Mira's daughter on the back of one of Fang's kids. And the entire time throughout season 3, initially I thought, okay, so Spear's back. He's a zombie. The part of confusion I had was like, okay, so was it Mira's father who brought back Spear? Wait, where was Mira then? Why is this person in their village? And my fiance and I watched the first episode again, after watching and finishing season 3, and it seems like it was some other village, shaman, who went to Mira's village and raised, I guess, Spear from the grave to fight some monkeys, I guess. It's kind of confusing. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of confusing, but I'm like, okay, whatever. The only thing that matters is that Spear is back, and he's kind of an aimless zombie who's lost in his own thoughts. And yet he still protects people. He runs into this village of lepers and he protects them. He runs into a grasshopper, which subconsciously makes him think of Fang and protects the grasshopper. That deep down inside, despite being back as a zombie husk, that he still has these emotions in the core of his being that exist and persist and help him to kind of eventually rediscover his soul. That, yeah, he's dead, comes back to life, but he still kind of comes back from the edge. And that's always been the question throughout this season, is like, okay, can Spear ever be made whole? There's an entire thing with him eventually running into Mira again, Fang's kids. Mira is initially like, it's my husband, it's Spear, but he's not quite there. But I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt and see if we can bring him back, again, from the edge. Of course, Fang's kids are like, I love you, Spear. Your daddy Spear, we love you. Fang's the main holdout. She's like, I don't trust this guy. That's not my owner. That's not Spear. And it's interesting because wherever Spear goes, most animals are like repulsed by the unholy abomination that is Spear, which is understandable. There's this debacle of a pig monster with its pig like warriors and children that have been raiding other human villages. And now Mira and Fang and her kids are on the warpath to go rescue said villagers. Along the way, they run into Spear rendezvous. So begins the entire back and forth where it's like, okay, can Spear come back? Can he be made whole? And once more, Fang is the main holdout in that regard. They save the humans, they kill the pig, and then like Spear like takes off and falls down a waterfall, I believe, and gets like swept away to like some volcano village, and then like some Conan the Barbarian fashion, rises through the ranks in the fighting pits and becomes the king of like the volcano elf people. And that's where it gets really interesting, because throughout the entire season, we're seeing callbacks to the first season with Plague of Madness, with the zombification, to the gorilla fighting pits with that black magic, which they ingest that turns them into like, massive homunculi fighting creatures. And said black magic comes from like this river that this golem creature gives to Spear whenever he wins a fight. And interestingly enough, said magic actually heals Spear and helps him become human again. Now, the entire time I'm watching this black magic, I'm thinking usually black magic comes with strings attached. No, actually it heals him. Straight up it heals him, brings him back from, again, the edge. Keep saying that over and over, but it's true. Spear even discovers he has a kid, which fills him with wonder and with love and with purpose. And that's when he's like, I'll keep doing these fighting pits and be your king, I guess. I don't care. But I'm a family guy. I want to see my daughter. This priest, I guess, of the volcano elf people is like, okay, well, I can bring you some pussy if you want it. And Spear is such a family guy that he's like, I don't want your pussy. Away with you, harlot. I want my family. Yeah, real guys get it, right? He also has a pterodactyl. Long story short, the priest doesn't like that Spear is kind of not keeping on the path of being the warrior king. Takes Fang, her kids, and Mira, along with baby Spear, hostage, and forces them all to fight. Which is interesting, where it's like Spear now has to face his family, who have also been given this black magic goo. How do you face that? Do you kill them? Spear obviously doesn't want to kill them. And then through an act of God of the volcano erupting, he realizes, oh, the lava, for some inexplicable reason, if I dip my spear in it, I can stab my Mira and the kids, and that will make them whole again. It's kind of a bit out there. I'm like, okay, all right, Gindi, whatever. Sure, lava and heat somehow turns back the magic. Why not? Sure. But ultimately, it does lead to Spear saving his family. His daughter, his wife, his dog, his other dogs. I'm fine with it. And there's a really sweet moment, and call back to the end of season 2, where he is alone in season 2, but here at the end of season 3, he's surrounded by his family, his tribe, and he feels whole. This is all he's ever wanted. Because lest we forget, in the first season, he had a wife and other kids, and they were killed by dinosaurs. So much of this is Spear trying to find purpose, a reason to keep going on, and he has that now, and I think it's beautiful. So ultimately, guess what? Camera pans to the side, there's Spear. I like it. I know folks are like, will Gendy do a Gending? Will it be subversive? I think he realized, let's just give the people what they want. We want to see Spear being happy. We want to see him with his family. And I'm all the more happy that he picked that as the conclusion. Yeah, it's a weird path getting there. But let it be known, so much of the initial part of this season was suffering. And I know that's a common theme in Primal because that's the point of the show. It's brutality. It's cruel, indifferent, perfect nature. It takes no prisoners, no hard feelings. I don't care about your emotions. That's life. You live, you die. The end. Okay, but what about the moments in between? What about family? It's about family, Walter White. You wouldn't survive him in Primal. Or would he? Would he throw a vial of crystal meth at Spear? But ultimately, seeing Spear happy, I'm all about that. I'm sure some folks will think it's cheesy. I don't care. I think it's perfect. And I would love to hear what you all think. Because overall for me, this is an amazing show. If this is the end of it, if we get no more, hell yeah, that's fine with me. Maybe we do get a season 4, considering that Smiling Friends is over. I'm sure Adult Swim's like, we need our top dogs on this. So Gendy, season 4 maybe? And maybe they can do a season 4. Maybe it's about Spear raising his daughter. Maybe his daughter gets a boyfriend and Spear and Fang want to kill the boyfriend, Who can say? The world has possibilities. The world of Primal is a sandbox. I really dig it. Whether it's an Egyptian queen or a zombie, sauropod, whether it's a Black Panther with glowing red eyes, whether it's a fighting pit from Conan, I don't care. Gendy, go off. You can do no wrong, mostly. Samurai Jack was kind of weird. But overall, the music, the sound design, the animation, the story, I love it. I love Primal. Primal is one of the greatest shows on Adult Swim, and I would love to see more. But at the same time, if this is all we get, that's a good ending. I like it. So what do you all think? I want to know. Tell me down below in the comments. I'll see you all next time.